All right, I feel like we have to immediately put this on screen. Congrats.
Congrats.
I almost combined Christopher and congrats into one word. Anyway, welcome in, everybody. How's it going? Bunch of questions in here already. Some good ones. We'll start with wins per the usual, though. If anybody else had anything awesome happen, post it so we can share it on the screen. Congrats again, Christopher. That's awesome. 20K is a big month, especially solo.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Let's see.
Hey, we're like all wearing the same color shirt, I just realized. Look at us.
Are we? I guess.
Look at us coordinating, guys. Come on now.
I feel like
we did it.
You might be showing off your color blindness, Rod, potentially.
These are all the exact same colors, aren't they?
Anyway, let's see. We'll jump into some questions. Put your wins in there. We always want to start with those if possible. So I'll pin some of those in a second, but we'll jump into questions while we're waiting. So, all right. Rod, you can be question picker today. You pick them.
Oh, really? Well, let me put the win. Let's see the wins first, because that fires us all up. And it makes us have a bunch of questions after we get fired up. So let's do that order. There we go.
So it's only 96 degrees. I don't know if that's
only.
Oh,
holy.
Taking my part 107 next week. Then launch happens here in Southern California. Congrats, Marvin. If you haven't yet, get the Prepware remote pilot app. I'll put it in the chat. Prepware remote pilot. It's $5 and it has the exact questions from the part 107 test. So I recommend taking that. You may have already done it, but if not, take it until you get 380% or more in a row. If you do that, your chances of passing are like pretty dang near 100%. So I do that. Let's see.
Dave Burley pulled up a chair.
It's always a win.
That's a win.
Stan has a good win.
Second photographer is onboarded, starting to shoot your own listings. Nice, Stan. How are things going in general with you? I mean, good, it sounds like. Let's see. Got my first free shoot last week. Looking forward to what comes next. Congrats, Harrison. How did it go? Post in the chat a little bit about how it went. Because I think a lot of people are like really worried about that first one. Rightly so, right? It's new. You've never done it before. But anything you learned, wish you would have known, stuff like that, put in the chat if you can.
5K in July.
Regularly is. Oh, sorry. I'm pinning questions as other people are pinning questions.
We're both doing it. It's fine. I mean, hit 5K in July from Forever Homes Media, and then we'll go to yours.
9K a month regularly is a one-man show. That's awesome. All right, let's hit some questions. 2 free shoots. Oh, an upsold one to 100. I was like, unsold. I don't know if that's a win. I booked a free shoot.
He's got too much business.
So bad they unsold it.
Good catch.
All right, we'll hit the questions from the top. If you have a question, just drop it in there, and we'll get to them in order here. So start with this one. Oh, actually, we'll start with this one. Is TikTok a platform it's necessary to have as a real estate photographer? No, you really don't need it at all. Wouldn't worry about it. Lawrence said, I've heard the Instagram DM is the best way to build a new customer. Do you have some KPIs, an example for 100 DMs? Yeah, so generally what we see is you want to get about a 10% interested rate. So if you DM 100 people, at least 10 should say something that expresses interest. Yeah, I have a shoot. I want to book it. I'll keep you in mind for the next one. Something that's positive. So you want to see about a 10% on that. If you're, people get way higher too. There's plenty of people like Scott. I don't remember the exact number. Maybe one of you guys will know, Rod or Kenny, but it was like 30-40% or something.
35 or something. It was crazy.
Yeah. So it can go higher, but 10% is a baseline. And the reason, first of all, this is a really good question too, because I think one of the mistakes people make with the Instagram method, especially if they're just watching content here on YouTube and we're not actually working with them to do it in coaching, is they'll just send a bunch of messages because obviously volume is important. But if you send 100 messages and you get like 1 or 2 replies, you're doing something wrong in the way you're messaging or in the way your profile's set up or in the way you're following up. Something's broken. And the reason that's a problem is not only because you have to do way more work, right? Like if you're there's a big difference between a 2% take rate and a 10% take rate. It's, you literally have to do 5 times the amount of messages to get the same amount of clients. The thing is though, you don't want to burn bridges with real estate agents in your local area. It's not like, there's thousands of agents, but you can go through them. So you don't want to like do it wrong and kind of like leave a bad taste in all, their mouth, so to speak. And so just think about that. Like the 10% number is really what you want to shoot for. And then KPIs from there really depend on a lot of things, right? So it's like, how many of those will book a free shoot? I mean, it should be at least 80% of the 10 that message you interest over time, though. It's not going to be the same day because like a lot of them won't have a listing yet or something else. And then of those free shoots, how many of them should convert into clients? That also should be about 80%, if not higher. That depends a lot on, it's like each of these kind of tell us something about your business, right? And about how you're doing things. It's like, oh, if you're getting a ton of free shoots booked and then you do the shoot and no one books you back, it's like, well, the problem was the way you did the shoot, the photos you delivered, or the experience of delivering the photos. Like something was messed up there. So it kind of gives us, like, when we work with somebody, a way to dive in and say, oh, here's probably more what the issue is. Violet said, hey, Eli, it's been a minute. Pain point, my son Justin's confidence, enthusiasm. I'm trying to get him fired up. Could you give us some ideas for that? He's listening as well. Yeah, I mean, give me some more info if you can. Like, are you guys just like, or Justin in this case, just not feeling confident as a photographer, not super excited about the business, or like, give me the infos and I'll help. Let's see. I'm finding some more questions. Everybody hang tight. Oh, here's a good one.
There's a lot of
There are.
Okay, that's where you're at now. Okay, good.
What would you do if you've got your schedule full, making about $9,000 a month, mostly doing photos only, but don't have the budget to hire anyone? The business is currently draining my energy. Yeah, really good question. Fibson, is that how you pronounce it? I was going to take a shot. Good. I don't know if I did it. If I did it wrong, let me know. Just sound it out in the chat or something. I want to make sure I pronounce it right. But anyway, the biggest thing would be to know what your average order value is. So to make that $9K a month, how many individual shoots is that? If you just tell me how many shoots you did last month and how much money you made exactly, I can tell you, because that'll give me some insight. My guess is your average order value is pretty low because you're just doing photos. And so if you were to have some add-on services, you could do the same amount of shoots, but make way more money. And that would then create the budget to hire somebody. So the first thing I would love to know is your average order value. So if you could just tell me those things, how much revenue you did last month, total top line revenue, how much money in shoots you sold, and then how many total shoots you did. We can dive in a little further.
All right. Give me a second. I'm scrolling through the news.
Yeah, I'm scrolling.
Or all the wins. There's so many wins. Golly.
Here's another win. Congrats, Brad. That's awesome.
Come on, Brad.
It's 5-figure months. Let's see. This is my favorite question. Please sell the flash. You will absolutely not need it. Get that thing gone. Recoup the money. Yeah, you won't need a flash at all. It's like one of those things. There's different ways you can get the same job done, right? Like, I'm trying to think of a specific case, but like you're building something, right? There's many tools that will allow you to accomplish that. So it's not that, you could use a flash, right? You absolutely could. I just don't think it's very efficient. And a lot of people go, well, I'll just keep a flash in case I need it. There's no scenario with our workflow where you do need a flash. And so, I would just get rid of it. Now, people will tell you otherwise, and that's okay. Because again, there's different ways to get the job done. I just, my way is just best, I'm just kidding. There's just, to me,
that was a great way to summarize it.
Both Kenny and Rod's eyes to see how they took that one. To me,
see if we're listening.
You used to have to use a flash to get good results because editing and like camera technology just wasn't where it was now or where it is now. And so you have to use a flash. You had to in the past to get like good window views and accurate colors and stuff. And you can get that without a flash now. So to me, a flash just adds complexity and, there's like a billion quotes around scaling and complexity, but they say simple scales, all else fails. And I kind of like that way of thinking about it. So like the most simple workflow you can have, the better, because number one, it's faster for you. So you can make more money because you can get more jobs done. But also when you go to scale and build a team, if there's less steps to teach somebody, you can train them faster, which is always better. All right. Let's see.
Oh man, hold on. Let me pick one.
Yeah, you're picking now. I'm done.
Yeah, I haven't lost my place here.
David said, what did your team look like when you hired Jared to take some of those responsibilities from you? Well, Jared wasn't hired in the role he's in now. So he started out shooting as a photographer. And then that's one of the things as you start to build your team, the more you work with people, the more you learn what their skill sets are. And then you can be like, oh, I now need someone to work on systems. And like Jared just loved building systems. And so he was hired in a photographer capacity, but then he had the ability to build systems. He was extremely reliable, crushed at being a photographer. And so I was like, okay, obviously he would be a good candidate to move up in the role and manage people and like train photographers and then build systems. And then it just continued from there. It's like, he did a good job. And Norman and Young, we built a lot of stuff together. And so then we just built this direction with REPP. So I wouldn't say you like, if the question is stemming from like, when do I hire a Jared kind of thing? Like, when do I hire someone that's good at systems and stuff? I couldn't really tell you like the revenue or anything. It's just when that becomes a constraint in the business. And usually you want to look for who on your team could help you with that, because you probably won't have the budget to just go straight to hiring someone to only do that. If that makes sense. But if that's not the angle of your question, just ask or give me additional context and Rod will pin it. Who's next?
I'm muted. Look who it is, Kenny. It's Jude.
Good old Jude. Yeah, I got to talk to him on Monday, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Was like, there's some backstory I don't know here.
Yes.
He's cool.
He's cool. Yes, basically.
Jude, so I think what you're probably talking about is like, if you're not charging them, how do you deliver in there? You can just put that stuff on, like all the services you offered, put it on the order, and then just custom balance or zero it out with a coupon code or however you want to do it. I think that's the most efficient way to do it. But if anybody else has a different way of doing it, just put it in the chat. I'm not like in working with Spiro daily, so sometimes I'm not up to date on the little things of how to do that personally. Peyton said, hey guys, if planning on moving in 2 to 4 months, should we do coaching now or wait till then? Feels like I might be backtracking if we did. We want to hear your thoughts.
How far are you moving?
Yeah.
Where are you moving to? Where are you moving from? Where are you moving to? And how, like, we have some people that'll move that have like a box and that's it. Some people that'll move like me and they have 14,000 storage units full that I'd have to move. And it'd take me a month fully 12 hours a day to move.
The other thing too is like
how fast your move would be and kind of how far you're moving. And that could give some good.
Yeah, and 2 to 4 months is also like a pretty big range. Like if it's closer to 2 months, I'm never a fan of
I would say jump into coaching now if it's 2 months, because by the time you get there, you'll have shoots booked ready for you if we do it right.
Yeah, and I just think generally, like, I mean, I wouldn't start building the business in the market you're in right now. I would start building it in the market you're going to move to for sure. Like it would be backtracking if you just started like randomly trying to get clients in your area, because like most of the momentum is going to come a couple months in. And without just sounding like I would answer this the same way if you were asking me something that I didn't benefit from you doing, and you're just going to have to trust me on that one. But like, I'm never a big fan of waiting. And so to me, it's like, if I'm planning on moving in 2 to 4 months, let's say it's closer to the 4 month side. If it's a 2 months, it's no brainer, like jump in now, get momentum, that kind of stuff. But even on the 4 month side, I would still be thinking about how to have the business when I get there. And whether that means trying to find someone, there's a ton of people you will meet inside of REPP. And, I think some people, this scares them, but it shouldn't, because the market's huge. Like there's going to be other photographers that are somewhere around that area that you could contract the work to and at least have a client base when you got there. You could hire somebody on a, at per shoot basis and have them do those shoots for you. That way, when you're moving, you're getting there, but you've already done 4 months worth of work. If that makes sense. So I wouldn't wait. I'm never a fan of waiting for anything, especially in business, because I think that's usually like, whenever I think I want to wait, it's because it just doesn't feel good to jump into it right now, but it's what I really need to do typically. So I hope that helps.
Yeah. And Peyton, I think you spoke to Nicole on our team a bit ago too, as well. So like text her and just say, hey, Eli and Rod's having me text you, and just tell her that you want to get creative with that and how that would look with the move and when to strike and all that. Just let Nicole know. She's awesome. She can definitely help you navigate through that too as well. All right. Ooh, there's a lot of questions. This is a good one. Come on, Marco. That's a good question.
Rod's little motivational sound at the start there, that little whatever that was. Yeah. Hey. What revenue level should you be at to consider hiring a virtual assistant or another photographer, and which one should be hired first? So Marco, typically, and the VA one depends on your financial situation, to be completely honest. Like if you have more money and you can afford to hire a VA, I think hiring a VA from day one is not a bad idea. But if you're not in a position where you have extra money to kind of throw at that, generally somewhere between 5 and 10K a month is when you really should have one. And it would be kind of like a negative thing not to have one. And so that's typical for a VA. And then photographer, I don't recommend hiring until you're doing about 15K a month, somewhere between 10 and 15. Now that doesn't mean you don't start the process earlier, like, you know, you're starting to do 8 and 10K a month, that's when you start interviewing and making sure your company's set up properly to hire and getting ready, because you can get from 10 to 15. It could be a month for some people, you know, because you get that compounded growth of all the clients referring you. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I would say is revenue thresholds for that. These gaps between questions are quite nice.
Let me know if you see any you want to pick too as well. I mean, there's a lot.
Sure. Yeah, you just pick one. I mean, you're the picker, sir.
All right, fine. Chris has got one. What's up, Chris? Well, Chris has got a good one.
When uploading photos to editors, do you use email to send them so they can convert to HDR? No, Chris. Most people will use Dropbox or Box, and they'll just basically dump the photos from their SD card right into Box, upload them, send them that way. Email's not a good way to send it because most email won't let you send that large of file sizes. It's just kind of a pain. Wait, hold on.
I would say don't use Google Drive because your editors will not like that. It just zips it up into many different files.
Is it normal to cry tears of joy after my name sign, or should I see a doctor?
I didn't know if I should pick that one.
I think you can skip the doctor. Whether it's normal or not is a different story, but congrats though. That's awesome. Let's see.
This is George. Hello.
Yeah,
hello.
It is live, George. If you ask a question we haven't got to it, we might be a little behind right now, but we're getting there. All right, let's see. Picking some more in here. Hold on one sec. Sorry, everybody.
Here's one.
Started the DM method about 3 weeks ago, and out of about 200 messages, 40 responses, 1 shoot. Lots of next shoots or maybes. Not bad, but anything I should do while I wait? Yeah, I mean, first of all, Harrison, that's a great response rate. So that's 20%, right? 40. Yeah, 20%. So the key piece of information here is you started about 3 weeks ago, and that means like in the last 3 weeks you've sent 200. So when we say 80% should take you up, that's as the data sort of matures, if you will. So it's like right now they're saying, oh, maybe your next shoots. You have to wait for them to get a next shoot. So what you should do while you wait is just continue to do a ton of front end DMs, right? This is consider they use the word pipeline in sales, right? And it's like you put, in this case, you put oil in one side of the pipeline, and then it takes a while to move through the pipeline and come out the other side. And that's when you get paid for it in this scenario. And so it's like you're doing work, putting stuff in the pipeline, but the things you put in the pipeline today, let's say they come out of the pipeline 2 months from now, you don't want to stop putting stuff in. Because then 2 months from now, you're constantly, or whatever the time is, not going to take 2 months. Like you saw, you already got a shoot. And so you'll get more and more shoots from the initial 200 you sent. But now if we can move that number up to 300, 400, 500, it's going to really supercharge that. And so you get all the results of that. And then you'll start getting the results of the referrals that you get from those shoots. And then the paid shoots obviously coming in soon. So yeah, just more of what you've been doing. If you want to start on the outbound method too, where you call agents on Zillow, you can do that. So yeah, just a couple thoughts, but that's good response rate, like really solid responses. So you'll grow quickly if you keep that up, if you do good service, if you deliver good photos, you have your systems down, like those numbers are very promising.
Wes said, no break on that one.
Free shoots, and often I can tell if the agent is just there for a free shoot and won't come back. Do you still offer free shoots to every new agent? Yes. So we were talking about this on my group call in coaching, I think last week. And a lot of people will do that. They'll be like, in their head, they're going to be like, oh, I'm just going to use this person for the free shoot. That's the point. You're supposed to do such a good job that they're like, oh, never mind. I'm going to use them for going forward.
Trojan horse them.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe they are coming into this to try to take advantage of you. And it's not, I don't think
sneak attack.
Advantage is like an emotionally charged word, but it's like, yeah, like let them do that. And then your job is just to make it where they're like, oh, I can never use anybody but Wes again, because that was a crazy good experience. And that's where like we talk so much about customer service and how to make customers enjoy working with you by, going the extra mile, being good to work with, showing up on time, dressing respectfully, being, polite to the homeowners. Like all these little things you do make them go like, oh, shoot, I'm definitely going to use this person again, All right, here's a win. I was only $180 shy of hitting 3K my first month. Shared Spiro screenshots with Nicole and Isaac. Nice, Marco. That's amazing. That's a solid first month. So it's 2,820, something like that. That's good. Let's see. Zach from UK. I'm really just struggling right now to get my first client. I have my own website, got a portfolio. Where do I even start? Yeah, I would highly encourage you to go. I mean, here on YouTube, if you go to my content, watch a lot of that. But specifically, if you go to the lives and you go to Instagram profile critique, we've done a couple of them. What you need to do is set up an Instagram account and start reaching out to agents, because you've done a lot of stuff that it's okay. I mean, the website, I wouldn't do that, but it's okay. You got it done. The portfolio, you got to have a house or two to show people. But those things, nobody knows who you are still, right? Like if you build a website and a portfolio, it's not like people just flood into that website. And so now your job, and the thing that's going to actually make you get booked, is actually reaching out to clients. And that's what the Instagram method does. So your success is going to basically depend right now on how much of that you do and how well you do it. So I'd really start there by just learning about the basics of it and then putting it into practice.
Here's a follow-up from an earlier question. Thibaut. He was the one that made $9,000 with, or I guess 9,000 euros. In July with just photos, but he was feeling burnt out.
64 jobs and $190 AOV. So that's like, I mean, that's roughly 190 US too, I think, if I'm off on the conversion slightly. So your AOV is low, and that's kind of what I expected. If you're just doing photos, it's like there's not a lot to drive the AOV up. And so you really need to try to sell, maybe you're already doing this, but like more virtual twilights, virtual staging, videos, drone photos. So that would be like the biggest, most important thing for you to do, is make sure that your Spiro order form is set up properly. You can go to Norman and Young's and kind of get some inspiration there if you want. But that's going to be the biggest thing, because imagine if you're like, just for example, you did 64 jobs at 190. You, just for context, your AOV, we want to see like nothing below 250. But that's still low. Like let's say you have 300 is pretty target. So let's say $300 times 64 shoots. Look at the difference there. I mean, you would have made almost 20,000. And so then all of a sudden there's the budget for the photographer to buy back some of your time. So you're not shooting as much and getting tired of it. And just for context, like even if you did $250 average order value times 64, you're still at 16 grand.
I mean, I was doing the math as well. Like even if he would have done half the jobs, he would have been at 8,000. So he would have made like $1,000 left, but would have done less.
Yeah. And not been as tired then as a result.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing for you for sure. What's next?
It's a cool win.
April, I did 1,200, made it 2,600.
Who is that, by the way?
3,600. Add another 1,000. I already hit 2K for August. 2K already, 7 days in. So what is that? That's a run rate of like, obviously if it stays, how many days are in August? 7, 14, 21, 28. So that's like a run rate of like 8K or more if you stay on track. That's amazing. Yeah, who is this?
Yeah, who are you?
LLC before getting an Instagram presence, or at the same time? I mean, to me, it doesn't so much matter. Just get them both done. But you don't have to have an LLC. You can be a sole proprietor too and start your business that way. Probably going to be an LLC at some point. So if you got the few $100, depends on what state you're in, how much it is, just get it set up, I'd say. But it's not like if you set up your Instagram before your LLC, you're not getting arrested or anything. So you'll be fine either way. Christopher said, can you share which service you recommend to pay photographers via something like Gusto or ADP? Yeah, Gusto, Christopher. ADP to me is pretty terrible. It's like a more legacy software. It's complicated. It's more expensive. Gusto is great. We used Gusto until very recently. And the only reason we switched is just because as our team grew, we wanted some more like HR features and stuff, but it was more on the rep side. And then Norman Young just moved over because we were moving over. So Gusto is what I very much recommend. Great software, honestly. So convenient.
It's super easy. I use that to pay my editors, my VAs. Yeah. So.
And it's funny because like a lot of people get there, and this is not what you're asking, but just while we're on this topic, they're like, oh, I want to hire contractors because it's confusing to pay people. It's like, it's not confusing if you use Gusto. It's so simple. And so, yeah, I recommend Gusto.
They literally do all the work for you, basically.
Yeah. What else?
Jimmy's got a question.
I gotta ask Gerald, my operations manager, about the software, but yeah.
We do. It's like a custom prompt for each one, right? It's basically it's like a prompt that makes it from the photo.
from the photo, and then it's, I don't know, it's a bit complicated, but I can ask what program we use. So I guess for those wondering, we offer at REPP Video Editing a photo to video AI service where you send us your photos and we just make a whole 30 to 60 second video. Just have to pitch that in, you know?
It's pretty.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty damn cool. I mean, it's, I don't want to get all fluffy, but it's incredible. Yeah, this one, I like this one. Forever Home's got the good questions up in here, I'm noticing.
You teach a course on politely explaining clients that Photoshop can't fix bad taste in furniture. We have virtual staging for that, is all I got to say. If they, you know, it depends on the context here, but I'm sure something happened that's funny.
What's the one thing you did in the early stages that gave you the biggest ROI in getting consistent clients?
Instagram method.
I need to say that. That was a trick question.
I'm kind of boring when it comes to client acquisition. I like it.
What was the
work.
flashy ad? Yeah, no, just consistent
well,
work.
I thought you were going to say something else different. Like, it's something that you still do for REPP, for Norman Young, and just in general, it's just like, and we've talked about this, either like whenever we start caring for the client, we start, I guess, just making more in general. And so like
whenever we start what? Sorry,
caring for the client. So genuinely, you're just not thinking of like them as a service or like as another number. You're just like, okay, let me take care of them.
True, yeah, like, that's like a better
cleaning a shed story, like the ones that we've told all the time, you know, things like that.
Yeah, because he said consistent clients. And so that's actually a better answer. It's like you get consistent clients by making it so when they work with you, they love the experience. And so you'll see,
especially in the beginning, like a lot of people will be like, that's not worth my time right now. And it's just like, bro, like you just started, nothing's worth your time. Like you're not worth anything right now.
Worth your time right now.
But little things like that.
And there's a lot of like what Kenny's kind of saying too. There's a lot of sort of ego in the photographer world for some reason, where they're like, oh, they won't spend 20 minutes cleaning a house before they shoot. They want it to be like perfectly ready, which I understand it. I want it to be perfectly ready too. It's way easier, but you can just do stuff that isn't typical for a real estate media company to do. And that gives you a big advantage because they're like, oh, am I going to use this other person that needs the house to be perfectly prepped every time? Or Noah, who comes and he's flexible and willing to, do what I need, help me get the house ready, like, roll up his sleeves and get to work, so to speak. So
the flexibility goes a long ways. I mean, I think we've talked about a company who wouldn't go to a listing if they didn't have AC or something like that.
Yeah. One of our competitors at Norman Young, we got a bunch of business because it was a builder and they always had photos done of different stages. And a lot of times it would be prior to the air conditioning being installed. And so this company would just not be able to do the house if there wasn't air conditioning. It was just like, okay, like I like when companies have policies like that, honestly. It makes it way easier to win business, but you shouldn't have policies like that. Otherwise someone else is going to win your business, Yeah, Zach, this will be, if you go to my YouTube, well, you're on my YouTube. So if you stay on my YouTube and you go to the lives channel, you'll see this when it's done. And then all of the past lives we've done. There's an unfortunately high number of them in there if you want to go binge watch some too. I'd start with the YouTube content itself though. That's a little bit more like specific and straightforward just because it's filmed ahead of time, not live. Stan said, in what ways are you utilizing AI at Norman Young to help you be more efficient, boost your availability to reach out to new clients, manage your team, take tedious tasks off you? Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think what tasks we don't. So obviously as like AI agents and stuff get better, you'll be able to have AI do more tasks for you, but anything written, we typically do. That would even be like responding to client emails that are a little more, harder to deal with people when they're mad, stuff like that. You just have to be really careful because it's really easy to tell if you just copy and paste AI. So you need to be like thoughtful about it. Analyzing finances is really a good thing to do with AI. You can dump a bunch of data in there. You get a lot of that data from Spiro, but you can actually like export those reports and ask questions about it. Strategy, I would say, is the biggest one that we use it for, though, is when I'm just thinking about, like one of the things that bigger businesses have is they'll have a sort of board of directors, or, in some cases actually called the board of directors in a bigger business, right? And those are people that typically are either invested in the business or are like strategic to the company, but aren't necessarily involved in daily operations. So what the CEO gets to do is they get to basically talk to that board, and it's like their, person or group of people they can go to get strategic help. GPT can kind of be your board of directors if it has a lot of information about your business, especially. So if you just have a thread where you like upload all the financials, everything, and you're just asking questions, talking about what you're doing in the business, I think that's where you get the most value right now, is just using it to help you be strategic. And so that's how I'd say to use it. You want to look for as many resources as you can to be strategic, right? So it's like you have GPT, you have this, you're coming on here learning from this, you have coaching, you have other stuff. So that's how we use it.
They asked, is Wix website plus Spiro still recommended? Is there a cheaper website to start? Is it fine for now to start without a website? I want to be fully ready, but I know you say just go. Kind of worried to do so. That's a good rhyme right there.
That's pretty
Shout
good.
out rhyming.
Yeah, so I don't think you need a website at all. If you're going to do a website, Wix is the way to go, but I would just go Spiro, and then you have an Instagram, and your Instagram is going to serve as the website. So that'll be even cheaper than anything because you're not paying for anything there. So yeah, Spiro plus an Instagram account, and go.
I mean,
you're ready.
They can make a website within the Spiro platform as well.
Yeah, you can use it. It can serve that purpose, right? The only reason we have a website for Normandy, well, there's two reasons. One is because I thought you needed a website when I first built one. And we've had it for a long time. The only real purpose for the website is people will literally go to normanandyoung.com to remember how to get to our client portal. So it's really just like a landing page for them to get to where they want to go, which is the Spiro order form.
Well, I like this question.
I live in a southern semi-small town where the realtors are old and dated. The properties are beautiful, but are never posted on Instagram. How can I get my in? They're all uploading mobile photos to Zillow. Yeah, so you still want to do the Instagram method, Brad. In any market, you're going to have typically, especially the top producers, might be older agents. They've been in the business longer. That's why they're a top producer. But you will always see new agents that are on Zillow, that are on Instagram. And you want to still do the Instagram method. We see it work in all size towns. It's not the problem there. What is going to happen though is when you're in a smaller town, there's advantages and disadvantages, but you have a big advantage in one area, which is when one agent starts to do something, all of the other agents pay attention. And so all you need to get is some of those new agents that are using Instagram to use you for those listings, and those more established agents, they don't want to get left behind, right? They start looking, they're like, oh, and then it can be like a tidal wave of agents that start using you. So that's how you'll get your in. And that's how it works in any market, right? That's how your name spreads. Like you do a good job for a small group of agents, and then it starts to spread. What's next?
Hey, there we go. How do you handle these homeowners who disrupt your workflow during shoots? And do you ask agents to address owners being present?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on what you mean by disrupt your workflow. I think a lot of that is we don't have the agents say anything about the homeowners being present. It's not going to, if you say you're not allowed to be there, like they're going to want to be there. It's not like a battle worth fighting, in my opinion. So I think a lot of it can be shaped by how you do things. So when you get to the house, being really clear with them in a nice way about, what they should do. Because a lot of times they are in your way by accident, right? Like they've never had a real estate photo shoot. They're like, do I stay with the person? Do I go? And so what I always say is I'll give them a, kind of an intro. I say to, the thousands of shoots I did almost every single time, right? I'd introduce myself, say I'm, Jake's photographer, should take about an hour or so. And then I explain what I'm going to do. I'll say, I'm going to go walk around. I'm going to turn on all the lights. Is it okay if I move a thing or two to get the house, set up, straighten pillows, take a thing or two off the counters? They're like, yep. You're like, okay, cool. So I'm going to go do that. You go do that. You walk around the house, you get everything on. Then you're like, all right, if you could go over there in that room, I have a really wide angle lens. So it always catches people in photos. So if you'll go over in there in that room, I'm going to start on this side of the house and kind of work my way back. And then we can just switch at the end. I'll shoot that room and then I'll finish up with the outside. That way, if I step in anything, I don't track it through the house. They're like, okay, cool. And you just like telling them where they're supposed to go, like 90% of the time solves that, right? Then they just go wait in there. Otherwise, it's like, if I'm thinking about this as a non-real estate photographer and a vendor's in my house, I'm going to feel like I need to follow them around and help them, even though they're like, please don't, And so it's up to you to set the stage, I think. You're always going to have clients that want to be with you and that are paying, or homeowners. And there's nothing you can do about that as part of the business, but you can make it so it doesn't happen all the time by being, straightforward and thoughtful about where they should be.
Very nice. Carlos has got one. Guys, I got confused. Do I pay per listing in Spiro? Oh, wait, sorry, I might be. Do I pay per listing in Spiro or the client? Also, do you recommend JPEG or RAW?
I'm not going to lie to you, Carlos. I have no idea what that first question means.
That first question, I might be confused on that.
I think he's asking if when does he pay? Like basically, like because Spiro is free for you to like just sign up and build everything, but like at what point does he pay? Is
If
it
that's
per
what you're
client?
asking, Carlos, yeah, you pay when you deliver the shoots, $5.
Yeah.
Do you recommend JPEG or RAW? It depends on the editor you're using, Carlos. If you're doing AI editing like through Auto HDR,
Shoot,
JPEGs will work just fine. If you're using a human editor, you'll want to use RAWs. All right, let's see. Here's one.
Oh, sorry.
Dang it.
I
overpinned you. All right. For a 17K per month company, we typically spend 25 to 30% in cost of goods sold and 2 to 3K per month in general operating expenses. Net profit is around 50%. I was trying to read if there's a question in there. Are you just asking if that's about normal? I mean, that's, maybe a little low on the net profit.
Let me find. I think they had a follow-up question to it. I'll find out where you're going.
Thank you.
Is this normal? Yes, that was their question. Is this normal?
Yeah, normal, low. I'd say like it's on the low side of normal, but it depends on your team, really. So it's like when you say the 25 to 30% cost of goods sold, does that include like a photographer's expenses to go out, or is that just like raw editing cost? And so it depends on how it's calculated a little bit. And then in the 2 to 3K per month in general operating expenses, like does any of that, who's that going to? What's that for? As a solo operator, typically want to see like 70 to 80% profit. But if you're not solo, then that's going to go down, but that's okay because then the capacity that your business has is going to go up. So maybe you're only doing 17K right now, but maybe you could do 25K. And so you're like building the business that can support the growth. So it just depends on a little bit more about the business, I would say. But yeah, I mean, 50% is overall a good profit margin if you can keep that as you scale, especially. All right, sorry, go back and pin your other one.
Mm-hmm.
Nick said you're paying your photographers by job as compared to hourly, correct? Kind of, Nick. So how we pay is they get a set rate based upon how long a shoot is scheduled for. So we pay in units technically now is how we do it. So they get paid when they're driving, they're getting paid mileage only. And then when they're at the shoot, they get paid a preset rate. So if the shoot is scheduled for an hour and they could get that $30 for that hour-long shoot, even if it only takes them 30 minutes, they get paid for the full thing, right? If this shoot is on the calendar for 2 hours, they get paid for 2 units, which is equivalent to 2 hours, even if they finish in an hour. And so it's basically like hourly while they're on the job, but you can't technically pay like that. If you're paying true hourly, you have to pay them every hour they're working, which would include the driving between. So it's just a way to like have it be like they're getting paid hourly, but be legally compliant, if that makes sense. So it's basically like per job is how we pay right now.
Oh, there's a coaching shout out, so I gotta pin that.
I literally knew
come
you were
on
gonna
now.
pin that one. I saw it and I was like, Rod can't help himself.
What's their name again? What's your? Oh, it's Darren. Darren with House.
Darren. That's what it is.
Cool. Well, thank you for the shout out, Darren.
Yeah, appreciate it.
You want to keep doing that? I'm gonna keep pinning it. So, all right, let's see.
That's how you should get your question answered. Anybody is you just shout out coaching and then drop your question, and whether we want to answer it or not, Rod will pin it. So.
Yeah, it's the secret word. Ooh, Carlos, this is a good question. My question to you real quick, Carlos, before we start answering it is, has someone said this to you or brought this up to you yet? Or is this a fear of a potential thing happening? But yes, go ahead. How do you combat when a realtor says I could just take the pictures and turn them into videos myself?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a rare thing. I think I've not really heard that much. If you're talking about just making a slideshow, I mean, that's so old school that most realtors don't do it anymore.
Using the AI editing.
Yeah, I mean, there's very few that do that because the process to do it is not actually that simple. Like it takes a good bit of time.
It took me a while to figure it out and like how, yeah.
And you still have to edit the video because like you take the photo, like here's the workflow, right? You take the photo, then you make that into a single clip video, and then you have to take those just like you would with a regular video and edit them. So we just don't get that a lot. But if you got a specific like way you've seen that, and you're always gonna have people do their own thing. The goal is not to serve every client with every offer that you have or every service you have. It's like, how do we create a business that serves the widest range of clients? So we talk a lot about when we're like my strategy for building a business, and there's plenty of strategies to build a business in this industry. What I think is the best is to serve the middle 80% of real estate agents. So the bottom 10%, They don't hire professionals. It's never going to happen. It's an uphill battle to try to get them to. It's not worth your time. Sure, you may be able to convince them, but like at what cost? You're going to have to spend a lot of time to do that. And the top 10% of agents, they're selling the most expensive. And when I say top 10%, like the most expensive properties, those, they're fun to shoot and you can make some really great media. The businesses that serve that top group, they just don't make as much money, frankly, because it's like a different reward you get. Maybe it's more fun to shoot those and you like, building your skill set as a photographer, videographer, whatever. It just doesn't pay as well. And so like for me, it's all about that middle 80%. It's like, where can I get the most volume, the easiest to work with clients? And then just truly, when you've been shooting real estate a while, there's nothing better than pulling up to a 2,200 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, regular house, right? Not on 30 acres, not with huge views or anything complicated to capture. Like, I just like,
I like simplicity.
Yeah. I don't know if I said this on the last live, but it's like kind of a joke. It's like, I don't know what everybody else is in real estate media for, but I'm in it for the money, right? Like that's why I do real estate media. I would not do this for free. And if you would, awesome. But I don't think anybody here would, right? And so it's like, okay, if we're going to just say it like it is, we're in this business for the money. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? I just say that because it's kind of like I don't know, it just sounds polarizing when you say it in that way. But it's like, we want to build the business that's the best at making the money. And so for me, and what I found, and I hate to even say for me, because just generally the businesses we see, the ones that make the most money and grow the fastest, they serve that middle 80%.
They're able to scale quicker, build a team, train the team, and just like not deal with, not be so much involved into the nitty gritty stuff, but just like the overall outside of the business type of, like a true CEO, a true business owner, not a photographer, so to say.
Well, a lot of times, like you said, basically is people will start getting into that higher end stuff. And then they'll be like, oh, I've made a mistake, because they try to scale and it's way harder to scale because there's way more you have to train somebody. And it's like, can it be scaled? Absolutely. Anything can. Just some things are harder. So going back to that, I'm in it for the money. The easy path, you don't want to do you don't want to chase easy money in the sense of like, get rich quick stuff, because that doesn't work. But if you have two paths that both lead to the same thing, the easier path is the one you want to take, right? And so it's like, you can scale a business doing the more advanced stuff. It's just harder. And so, there's plenty of hard things about scaling a business anyway. Might as well make it so you're not, trying to run up an icy hill at the same time. What's up, Max? How's it going?
Max Sock.
I always love your posts, Max, about like the highlights and what you learned in business that month, and it shows your revenue and stuff. That's pretty cool. See.
What do you propose I do when a realtor who has requested me to provide my raw video so that way they can make their own videos and how many they want? Should that be a no?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of things I think about, Marco, is if they're asking to make their own video, it's like, I'm wondering if they're just trying to save money or if they don't like the videos you're making and they want to have their own editor do it. So like, I would try to figure out what the reason is there. But ultimately, like a lot of photographers would be like, oh, no one gets my raw footage. Like it's the most prized asset on earth. Like I don't care about the raw footage, right?
That's gotta license the clips and whatnot.
Yeah, like I would give it to them for sure, Marco. But I would just try to figure out why they want it. Like maybe they don't know that you could do what they need too, if that makes sense. Yeah. Let's see. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
I'm getting some homeowner stories now up in there. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you're always going to get some people that are a little bit more difficult, and stuff happens. But don't build your whole business around small problems. I would say generally, like there's a lot of times that something happens, we're like, oh, we got to like figure this out so it doesn't happen again. It's like you don't. I forget the exact way we say it, but it's like you don't basically solve something that only helps 1% of the scenarios that you run into at the expense of like more work for all the other 99. So if you're like, oh, I don't want this to happen again, I need to tell every agent, to get the homeowner to leave. It's like, that's not a problem 99% of the time. So that's kind of how we would look at that. Let's see. Yeah. So Sky, with those margins, if you're hiring a photographer to shoot that margin seems good to me. It's just if you were solo and you were doing the shoots yourself, that wouldn't be like the ideal situation.
When I offer that first free service, should I offer anything, everything, or just 25 photos, something basic?
Yeah, good question, Carlos. So this depends on your financial situation a little bit, and also kind of just what your goals are and how aggressive you want to be with things. Aggressive being a good thing in this case. What we say is like a free photo package, and then when they take us up on the offer, we can decide what it is based upon the house and that kind of stuff. Generally, if you can afford to give them more and you're willing to, the more services you expose them to, the higher their average order value is going to be in the future, typically. Meaning, like, if they take you up on a free shoot and you just do 25 photos, the chance that they just order 25 photos in the future is pretty high. But if you do like, a full photo package, let's say you do 25 photos again, drone photos, you throw in a social media video, like that costs you more to do that for free because you have to like pay for the editing and spend the time. But like they're probably also going to order that again in the future. So you can make them a more valuable client. The middle ground is you say free photo package, right? And then once they say yes, you do some research on the agent. If they're like a super high volume agent, do a ton of listings, maybe you do a bunch more stuff for them. On the contrary, if they're, if they've only done one listing in the last year, maybe you just do the 25 photo package, right? So you can kind of play it smart there. I would say it'd be a decent move.
But also smart could be relative because, I mean, that one agent that only has one listing a year could know a ton of other agents. So if you gave her or him like your pro package, they'll be like, oh my gosh, he like gave me this whole thing for free and like he killed it with the videos. I love the photos. You guys should definitely use them. Something like that.
Yeah. And that's where that, you have to look at your financial situation and how aggressive you want to be. But like, if you're able to, the more media you can get in people's hands, the better. Because there's nothing, if you do it right, there's no better marketing than people just actually getting to use the products you create. There's like, it's good to be in a business where the product is the marketing, if that makes sense. So like what I mean by that is your stuff, like the product you make, the photos, videos, 3D tour, that's the best marketing that exists for your business. So it kind of works together. Like when someone orders a lot, they're also like marketed to by you, which is cool. What we got?
All right. Violet's son, Justin, has a question. What's up, Justin? I know this is a good job path and all, but I've been feeling deflated and I'm having trouble getting pumped up for it. Yeah. Do you have any advice on what I could do to get motivated? Or do y'all see that in coaching with your students back there who get in coaching and start getting into it and need motivation? Like what works back there?
I mean, we all need motivation.
Besides yelling at people.
Yeah. Like, when I coach people, I mean, like I would just remind them their whys and just talk about like why they're doing it.
What's the desire?
What's family, money, like whatever it is, just like there's got to be a reason why you want it. It's not just, okay, I'm just going to do this because I'm forced to. And if you don't, then don't do it because I don't know. That's just like my advice on that. It's just like, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. But if you're wanting to, and you're just like, wow, this is hard. Just know, yeah, business is hard, but it can be fun if you just like put your why. Maybe it's your family. You want to provide for whatever. Maybe it's just a goal that you have. And so just reminding yourself like, okay, today I'm just going to do what's required. And I'm going to, even if you just do one task a day and yeah, it takes you a longer time than most people, it's just like, that's a win right there because you're doing more than somebody who's just thinking about starting or wanting to do something that day. So even if tomorrow you just do your Instagram profile and that's all you do, great. Like give yourself props for that. Know that you could do more, but yeah, just remind yourself like I'm doing this because, and then write it down. Tell yourself that every single day until it just becomes part of your habit, part of every day.
And a lot of times it's good to, if I can echo on the beautiful words that Kenny just said, a lot of times it's things can become your passion once it starts providing for you the things that you desire. So like when I got into sales and marketing 20 years ago, it wasn't, well, that's when I started floating the idea. But let's say 11 years ago, I fully dug into marketing and sales and got introduced to it by someone who was doing really well. And I just liked that desired outcome. I wanted like good money. That sounded really cool. At the time, it wasn't a passion for it literally at all. Never thought about it like too much. It wasn't, it was just kind of there. And I got introduced to it 20 years ago. Then 10 years ago, got reintroduced to it. And once I dug into it and it started providing for me in the ways I wanted it to, then the love for it started happening. And now I'm very much in love with sales and marketing. I love it. It's just so exciting to work on it every day. But at the beginning, it was just there to get me that desired outcome. So a lot of times these things can become your passion. It's like people that own parking lots. that make money. It's like, it's probably not their passion, but that's some good profits and allows them to have the money to go live their passions and do what they want in life. So it's like a lot of the times these things become the thing that allows us to live the way we want. And then it starts to slowly become something we really love once it starts doing that. But in the beginning, it's kind of like, it
going back to
that's a super great point, because Rod, I know you love people, and so you obviously, when you're in sales and marketing, but like you love talking to people and you want to make sure that they're taken care of, so you're not going to just scam them or anything. So like, I don't know, I think that's fulfilling for you as well, because I see you, when somebody joins coaching, you're just like, yes, like I know this is going to change their life, and so like you genuinely feel for them.
Yeah, and Justin, like that could be like when you take really good media and you get really good media for the agents and it helps them sell that house, like that helps them live their life, helps them in their life. It helps the homeowner selling the home. It helps the people getting into the homes. Like the media you create, the media that you get is just, there's so much good that can come from it. So a lot of times it's focusing on the outcome of the people I help too as well. So you have your outcomes you want, the outcomes of the people you help, and how can I feel that? And then that a lot of times brings a lot of motivation. So
when we say this a lot, but it's like, it doesn't take motivation once you have shoots coming in to continue, because it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not motivated to collect this payment and do the shoot. It's like, nobody says that. And so there's this period at the start where you just have to have external motivation, really. And that's where they mentioned like why you want to do this. Like, is it just want to make a bunch of money? Like, do you hate your job? Whatever it is, you got to, whatever that is driving you is the important thing. But you don't need motivation once you start getting shoots coming in. Like, it just, the amount of motivation you need goes down drastically because it's working, right? Nobody would do the stuff to start a business if there wasn't a payoff associated. Like, it's boring a lot of times. It's not super fun, or it's frustrating, or whatever. It's like, you gotta, like, I don't wake up, and when I was building my business, I didn't wake up going, man, I love to reach out to agents on Instagram. It was terrible. It's so boring, right? Terrible is a strong word. It's not that terrible. It's just boring.
Some people like it, but.
And it's like, I wouldn't have done that if I wasn't going to get paid. I wasn't like, man, I loved reaching out to agents on Instagram, It was like, I want to get some money, and so this is a requirement. But yeah, biggest thing is just speed to getting paid shoots is really important. If you start getting paid to this, you get more excited about it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
To add, I know I set this and I'm just going to repeat it. It's just like set daily goals, whether it just be like one task a day on your business. Just like, I think that's going to allow you to be more motivated. Just like, cool, I did it. Like, I finished it, rather than putting like 100 things on your list and just being like, I couldn't even get done 2 of those. And it's just like, no, just put 1. That's fine. But obviously slowly grow that list. But, initially just, give yourself some props for doing whatever you need to do.
I'm smiling because Kenny's advice is really good. Me and Rod got on a meeting today, and that happened to us. We put like 40 things on a list, and we were just like, not that we can't do anything. And then we finally did what we have to do constantly.
On the 2 things.
You sit down, you say, like, what are the top 1 or 2 things that is the most critical to move the business forward?
At one point, Eli, we had this huge list on there, and Eli just took it up and went, what are we doing? What are we doing? What's the 2 things right now?
Like, I was like, we cannot do this 40 things at one time. It's not going to.
There's always a million things to do, or what are the key things to do? That's the hard part, isn't it? Okay, wait. Yeah. There's
a shout out.
There was a question from Monroe Bull. I haven't seen your name in a long time. I was excited to see your name. Was something about how do you charge for STRs? Where'd it go? Oh, Monroe, I'm sorry.
You, man. I got you.
Oh, there it is. What's up, Monroe?
Hey, Monroe. You can do this a lot of different ways. At Norman Young, we're pretty focused on just being like a simple operating process. So like when a job request comes in, our team doesn't have to like custom. So we just price everything the same. What typically happens with a short-term rental is they'll order more from you. So they'll either order more photos or whatever. You can charge more simply just because they're going to use the photos, for a longer term, whatever. If you want to keep it simple, maybe you just take your normal prices and add 30%, 50%, whatever. We just do it the same price though. It just keeps it simple.
Oh, another coach. Come on now. Darren, that's 2 for 2 right there. Come on.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, REPP video shout out too up in there.
I had to put it out.
Like those. Well, thanks everybody for a bunch of questions. This is a good one. We haven't done like a nice
Daniel with the 10K week.
Not even a full week. Oh, I guess tomorrow will be a full week. Well, today's
still. That's pretty good. Dang.
Good stuff, Daniel.
Just quick 40K run rate right there for the month. Nice, Daniel. Anyway, thanks for being here today, everybody. We haven't done like an actual just straight Q&A in a while.
3-hour Q&A. That's nice.
Yeah. So it was good. Well, thanks everybody for being here. And if interested in working a little bit more intentionally with us, getting in our community, having a one-on-one coach in the community, and all the straightforward process. Like, here's exactly what you need to do to either launch your real estate media business or scale it. We'd love to talk with you about coaching. We have 2 different coaching programs. So we have Launch, which is for people just starting. And that's where we teach you everything. So you're going to learn the photos, videos, 3D tours, all the products you need to create. You're going to learn the software you need to use, like Spiro, to take orders and process payments. And then how to get clients. We even have, like, for the Instagram method, we have a CRM that generates custom DMs for you. So all you do is you put in the agent's name and it spits out a ready to copy and paste DM. It reminds you when to follow up. It's a bunch of cool stuff like that. I think I might have already said this, but you get a one-on-one coach on our team that's helped a lot of people grow successfully their real estate media businesses. So they're all experienced, and they'll walk you through the whole program. They're your primary point of contact. So you do one-on-one Zoom calls with them, and then you can message them between calls. Always get your questions answered. And then we have, for both programs, 10 plus Zoom calls a week you can get in. And those are, I host one, for example, Kenny hosts one, a bunch of other people on our team. And then people who've been through and built awesome real estate media businesses host them. We even have Todd, in Forward hosting one. His business does over $300,000 a month. So it's a great community. Forward is if you're looking to scale your business, just take it to the next level. So we help you with hiring people. We actually do done for you recruiting via Rep Talent. So if you need a photographer and you're at that stage, as part of Forward, we recruit that person for you. So we do all the candidate screening. We do the job posting. We literally talk to hundreds of clients, or at least over 100 of applicants for the role. And then we filter them down to the ones we think would be the best fit, and you get to pick. So it's really cool. So anyway, if you're interested in just talking with our team and seeing what it would look like for you, go to replaunch.com/apply. I'll put the link in the chat.
I'll meet you.
Work with you. These Q&As are only a taste of what we do. So if you get value out of these and you want to work with us, more in depth, we'd love the chance to work with you. So I appreciate you being here, and hope you have a great rest of your day.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Peace. I forgot to get the end screen again.
Yeah, where's all the cool music and stuff? Come on.
Again, then we got to press loop, and then live training. Which one is it?
Hold on. And by the way, if you guys have already spoken to our team too, like you can use that link if you want. But if you've already spoken to somebody here, just text that person, let them know you want to chat again about things. You want to get creative with things. If it's something you really want to do, they can help you get creative with it. All right. If you haven't spoken to us yet, use that link that Eli was saying there. And like he was saying, the different things that coaching comes with, but you tell us what your desired outcome is with this and what your results you're wanting to get and what you're wanting to do with your life. And we'll start reverse engineering how that would look in tandem with coaching for that to help you get to that too.
And the way we do that
is with one-on-one help, the group calls. There's 2 or 3 group calls per day, y'all. All right. It's 10 to, I think there's like almost 15 per week in the launch program. 10, yeah. There's like that's being conservative. There's the group chats that you can use and flail. I'm at a shoot. Who can help me right now? Right. You can use those group chats. We have a private Facebook group that you'll have lifetime access to forever. That thing is active 24/7. That's lifetime 24/7 support in that thing. Mayday, mayday. I'm at a shoot now. I need somebody. Right. So that if you utilize coaching,
if you say mayday, mayday, we might make fun of you though, just so you know that.
Do mayday, mayday with the siren emojis and stuff like that. But if y'all jump in and use coaching, we have gotten really good at figuring out what people need and how to coach people. When you coach enough people, you just get an idea of how to get right to it. So y'all, we got this dialed in. So if you haven't chatted with us, come chat. Come on now. And if you have chatted with it, let's go, baby. So I don't know. You get me excited now, Eli. Sorry.
Rod gets that accent. Saying, come on in. He gets like that. He really goes like full Southern.
Yeah, all the accent. Yeah. It's the Georgia kicks in a little bit. Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody. Look forward to getting to work with you a little further. Thanks for that shout out, Violet. It's always good to have you on this call. So thanks everybody. Have a good one. See you later.
Bye, y'all.